smells like Bigfoot's dick.
I swear I showered. I am so sorry. This is awkward. Oh, sorry. I didn't know you guys were there. Anyway, hope you're having a great day. That soundbite makes a lot of sense here in a little bit as we get to some crazy headlines today. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's Thanksgiving week, so I don't know how it's going to go. Hopefully we have some really good stories this week, but the news people, the people that dig up like these really crazy stories tend to take a vacation around this time. So I'll have to do some extra digging. So if you see something, say something. Shoot me an email if you see a really good story that you want me to react to, and maybe add your 2 cents as well. DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com, as well as on socials at DeHuff Podcast. But right now, I got an abundance of nonsense that I can't freaking wait to get into. But like I said, hope you're having a great day. Remember to hit that subscribe button wherever you're watching this or listening. Hit the subscribe button. Also, click on a like for it as well. And remember, today's show is presented to you by Kirkwall Group, as well as Game Time PDR, and of course, Bet Online. In fact, Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball to NHL, UFC, and MMA. Go ahead and make your way to betonline.ag right now to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. It's Bet Online. The game starts here. And speaking of starting, let's fire this fucker up. Let's jump into some headlines.
Let's go! Let's go! And now, here are the headlines.
This, oh my God. Listen, I understand we get upset. As human beings, we lose our temper at times. We're just sitting there going, I'm going to, retaliate. I don't know how I'm going to retaliate to this certain situation. And then sometimes we make bad decisions, right? We've all done it, where you do something and you're like, fuck, shouldn't have done that. Well, I don't know if I'll ever get to this point where I think this is a rational idea. This is a rational way to handle a situation. An employee in the UK had an argument with his boss. That shit happens, right? Right? So to get back at the manager, the employee noticed that the manager had some beard oil on his desk. So he said, you know what I need to do to retaliate against my manager, for whom I believe is an asshole? I'm going to ejaculate in the boss's beard oil. Are you kidding me? The dude goes and brags to a fellow employee. Be like, hey, guess what I did? I just squirted in my, in the boss's beard oil. So that other employee is like, that's jacked up. Told the boss hands it over to authorities. Bing, bang, boom. They get some DNA testing, and sure as shit, it was his jizz the whole time. Oh my God, that's disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't know what stupid stuff you've done. I'm racking my brain of thinking, what immature nonsense have I done in retaliation because I just don't know what to do? Nothing like this. Sorry. Never has it crossed my mind be like, I know what I'll do. I'm going to pull my pants down and crank one out into some beard oil. Could you imagine if you walked in on somebody doing that? They're not only just cranking one out, they're cranking one out into somebody's beard oil. I feel like, oh man, I need to get some documents or blah, 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 whatever it is. Let's go over here. Almost done. What a dumb way to get fired too. How do you explain that to your friends and family, your significant other? Well, I guess we can't go on that vacation, kids. Why, Dad? Well, Daddy lost his job. What? How did you lose your job? Was it mean old Mr. Johnson that got you fired, Dad? He's a real piece of work. Well, yeah, he fired me. What'd you do? Well, when a man loves himself, he likes to touch it. And next thing you know, I was upset and I busted out some loving into his beard oil. I don't need to talk about it. Don't need to talk about it. Oh my God. How embarrassing. Ladies, guys, if your boyfriend or husband decides to do something like this, do you stick with them? Because I can't imagine that you would want to stick with them. If I did that, I would imagine my wife would leave me because I'm just a fucking moron. This person that did this, he was 25 years old. I get it. He's on the young side of things, but he's old enough to know better. Old enough to know better. Come on. At what do you think at any point that while he's doing that to himself, do you think that he was just like, this is a bad idea? Or do you think the entire 20 seconds that he was doing it? Because I imagine it had to have been a quick one. It's not like a 40-year-old virgin where he lights candles and some incense and puts on, a show or whatever the fuck he does, some nice music, and then he slowly takes his time to it. I imagine he was just, firing something off real quick. But do you think I imagine that at some point he had to have realized this is a bad idea? Or do you think the entire time he's like, this is a great idea. This is so good. Oh, I'm getting him. And then he goes and brags about it. God, man, just dumb people. Dumb people. What worries me is people that do that to customers. Because you hear rumblings, you hear stories about restaurants that have employees that do sick shit like that. That worries me. That worries me. I've never seen it. I've just heard rumblings of it. I've worked several miscellaneous restaurants. I've never seen it. I've never seen anybody spit and stuff. I mean, everybody was always on the up and up. If anything, it was just like, dude, you got to change your gloves out. You can't run the cash and then touch food with those same gloves on. They're not magical gloves. Not magic. But whacking one off into a freaking beard oil of your boss? Come on.
Play with yourself. It'll be good. Everyone, walk away.
Oh my God, that's his little devil on his shoulder. He's like, what should I do? I'm so upset with my boss. Should I walk away and absorb what he just told me? Or
play with yourself. It'll be good. Everyone, walk away.
That's what I'm gonna do. The little devil on my shoulder told me to whack one out into his beard oil. My goodness. Next time you get in an argument, think to yourself, can this argument be settled with me jacking off? I'm sorry. That's such a dumb thing to think about. But next time you're in an argument, just have that run through your head and it'll put a smile on your face. Is this one of those moments? DeHuff told me to take a moment, step back from the situation and say, hey, can this situation be resolved with me masturbating? I'm going to lean on no. Lean on no. Lean on that one. My goodness. So listen, not a good career choice because good luck getting another job, right? Why'd you leave your last job? Well, I was jacking off. I was upset with my boss and I decided to jack off in his beard oil. Okay. All right. I told you guys that once. I was hiring manager at one of the restaurants, and this guy, I'm interviewing him. First impressions, I wasn't impressed with this guy at all. But he comes down, he's sitting with me, he's talking, and he's like, man, I just feel like I can just be really honest with you. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, why did you leave your last job? You said you really liked it, but why'd you leave? And again, he goes, again, like, oh, I'm really comfortable with you. I feel like I can just be an open book. I left the job because my boss kept telling me to do all these things. So I just got so frustrated with him. I cold cocked him, just punched him right in the face or something like that. I'm like, you're not getting hired here. I gave him some miscellaneous bullshit answer of why we're not going to go with them. Or it was the cliche, don't call us, we'll call you type of thing. Who does that? Who does it? Oh, he's asking me to do my job. So I punched him right in the fucking face. People. Now, that being said, that guy was probably about 19 years old, hot-headed. Like, that's the last thing I want is somebody to work. I think it was at Jamba Juice or something like that, where especially at that time, it would get busy. And I'm like, dude, you clearly can't handle working. And then I want to say he worked at a movie theater or something like that. Oh my God. I was just like, what the fuck? Who would want to hire you? And even that, even if he wouldn't have said that, there's always a chance, because a lot of times I would have managers talk to me from other companies, be like, hey, I just heard that so-and-so is applying here. They would either give praising comments or they'd be like, this is off the record, the worst employee I have ever seen, blah, blah, blah. That stuff happens, but it's off the record. I never did that, but if somebody ever called for a reference for an employee that was shit, I would just say this. I can verify that they worked from this time to that time. I am not going to say anything else. You don't want to even say that, that they had some good attributes, something like that. I'm just going to tell you that they worked from this time to that time. You can read into that as you will, but that's all I'm comfortable with saying. Okay? Do your homework, figure it out, whatever. And they're like, I hear you. I hear you. All right, you have a great day. You have a great day. Don't be doing shit like that. It's going to follow you for a long time. At what point in like as you're unzipping, do you go, maybe this is a bad idea? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Devil, what you think?
Play with yourself. It'll be good. Everyone, walk away.
All right, I got it. That's so bad. So bad. A good example of, that story is a good example of why eventually employees are going to be replaced by humanoid, robotics, you got AI, stuff like that, because you don't have to deal with that nonsense. So eventually jobs like that will be replaced because the headache that comes along with dipshit employees. But the reason I bring that up is BMW Figure 02 humanoid robot is getting 400% faster in manufacturing tasks. And I'm watching a video of it, and it's like, it's very efficient. It's 400 times faster than its previous version. It's getting faster. And it's just, it might not be moving very quick in the video that I was watching, but it's getting there. And it's efficient. And eventually what's going to happen is stuff like that, once it might be in, say, automotive that these humanoid robots are working. Eventually those are going to work themselves into other industries. So it's just another reason. That's just something that you don't want to assume that your job is completely safe. My wife and I were watching something the other night on social media about, it was the court reporters. The people that type, stenographers, which is an insane job. I've never met one. I would love to meet I believe that's the name of the job. And it's like their own language for, writing out what goes on in a courtroom. It's fascinating. But I told my wife, I was like, isn't that like a job that is just really susceptible to AI and just being just wiped out? Now, somebody else wrote that on that post, and they said, well, that's a job that's going to be taken over by AI. And then people are like, no, 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 you can't, because of, the laws of this and blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, as of right now, as things are structured, yeah, maybe your job is safe. Eventually that's going to get phased out once the AI is clean, because I understand people mumble. I understand that there's some chaos in a courtroom at times. Maybe the microphones don't pick it up. Shoot, man, just doing voice to text at times is troubling. It doesn't, like I do the videos using some software, and it'll just generate captions, and it'll be something that I feel is very clear, and every now and then a word just gets completely misinterpreted. Eventually, and the better the software, I'm not using super high-end software, eventually that software is going to be elite, and it's not going to say, he said fuck you. He's on the stenographer, it's go like, he said truck you, the AI version. Eventually that's going to get fixed, and jobs like that are going to be, thrown out the window. But going back to the whole BMW thing, that's fascinating. It's exciting. The only thing is, like, when you watch the video, it's walking around in this little area of its workspace, putting things together. And I'm like, why does it have feet? Why wouldn't it have wheels? That would be much more efficient. Don't you think? Instead, it's like slowly walking, like, I'm a robot coming over here. Wait for me. It's like, put fucking wheels on it. That shit's a lot quicker. You're saying it's 400 times faster? It's going to be 800 times faster. You switch out the wheels. So I responded to the guy that is in charge. I said, why wouldn't you just put wheels on it? It'd be a lot faster. What would be funny is if he's just like, oh shit, I never thought of that. Oh my God, I need to stop smoking all these peyote. Peyote? Peyote. Whatever. Fuck, man, I'm high. It's fascinating. The whole AI, the robotics boom that is about to just really take off is exciting, but it's also scary. It makes you wonder, like, in your industry, can it happen? Can it take your job over? And then what happens to people once AI starts really taking off and consuming jobs? What happens to Joe Schmo? If I don't have the ability to do my job, then what? What am I going to do? If all of a sudden AI is just dominating the workforce, what happens to the majority of the people out there? We're going to be jobless. That's a scary thing. It's not going to be a few people here and there. Eventually, it's going to sweep through, and only the people that are, in charge, the higher ups, are going to be the only people that are actually generating income. Whereas me, I'm going to be sitting here, maybe you sitting there going, I don't know how to contribute anymore. I don't know how to do it. I'll just make dumb videos on TikTok, which eventually is going to be, replaced by AI. I just type in AI video, a guy getting kicked in the nuts while, eating soup, right? And then they're like, oh, that's hilarious. I'm just sitting at home, unemployed, watching videos of guys getting hit in the dick while eating random food, especially soup. It's just hilarious because it's hot. It's wild. Another job that's susceptible is teaching, and something that's not helping anybody's cause, A teacher was fired after allegedly feeding the kids dog treats because she thought they were beef jerky. I got to be honest. There's been some dog treats that we've got that smell exactly like beef jerky and look exactly like beef jerky. If I put it on the table, the kids would eat it. I would probably eat it. And here's the thing. At first, I was like, "What's the big fucking deal if the kids ate it?" Because one kid was taken to the doctor for an upset tummy, and then like the parents had to be notified. They're like, "Watch out, your kids consumed dog treats." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I didn't think it would be that big of a deal, right? Growing up, I remember my stepdad eating a milk bone. We laughed and we're like, "What a dumb fucker," right? He ate a dog bone. And then secretly, I'm like, "I want to try a dog bone." I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Now, my wife had told me, and it just went whoop, whoop, in one ear, out the other. I'm like, classic, just flapping her gums, right? Am I right? She's like, "Don't eat dog treats." And I'm like, "What's the big deal?" Well, apparently, it is a big deal to that humans should not eat dog treats. I had no idea. I feel so dumb. You probably already knew this. I'm just an idiot. Dog treats may contain ingredients that aren't safe for humans, such as hooves, beaks, and offal. I don't know what that is, but the hooves and beaks sound delicious. They may also contain high levels of fat or protein, artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives. That sounds like just basic shit that we eat as an American, right? Now, the meat in dog food often doesn't meet the same health and safety standards as meat for human consumption. That's disgusting. Oh, it's shitty meat. Let's just give it to the dogs. It's fine. Dog treats may contain pathogens such as salmonella or listeria, which can cause serious health problems. Again, why are we feeding that to our dogs? Humans and dogs have different nutritional needs. Eating dog food may increase the risk of foodborne illness, especially for children. Listen, this is stuff that's kind of new to me. I didn't realize that. I guess maybe because I never even thought about it. So I know some of you are like, "Oh man, there goes my afternoon. I was gonna hammer some dog treats." Apparently, it's a bad idea. Apparently, it's a bad. They didn't say cat treats. They didn't say cat treats. Don't eat any of the animal treats. Apparently, we're just giving them the shit. That's terrible. That's terrible. I listen, like if the principal called me and they're like, "Scott, your kids consume dog treats." You know, if this was like 2 days ago, I'd be like, "What the fuck you calling me for? What's the big deal? They got a tummy ache? Make them go puke it out in the bathroom. Why are you calling me?" I was gonna take a nap. But apparently that I'm a bad parent. I had no idea. They even called poison control. Like I feel like that's a little extreme, but I mean, I'm reading, it's apparently a bigger deal. I don't know. I'm kind of torn because I know sometimes people over exaggerate on shit. Listen, I'll play it by ear. If I eat a dog treat on accident, I'm not gonna run to the doctor. I'm just gonna be like, "Oh shit, I just ate that milk bone." I gotta be honest, kind of delicious, kind of delicious. I'm not gonna rush myself to the hospital and get my stomach pumped for multiple reasons. One reason being, it's gonna cost me a fucking arm and a leg to get my stomach pumped. Not worth it. I'll take my chances. Take my chances. How'd he die? Death by dog bone. Oh, what? That's a thing? Did he choke on it? No, 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 no. He ate it, and apparently we just feed our dogs shit. As my big dog's walking by, he's like, I am pissed off. You're giving me garbage to eat? Apparently. A Las Vegas strip club has joined the chat when it comes to Mike Tyson. I told you last week that there was a porn site that was offering Mike Tyson like $250,000 to be part of a porn in some fashion. Now, this strip club in Las Vegas is offering Mike Tyson $125,000 to show up in chaps and a banana hammock. This, of course, because 2 weeks ago when Mike Tyson fought Jake Paul, allegedly, that pre-fight, he was walking around with his bare ass out, like wearing some sort of chaps or something like that. And so people are just jumping on it. Listen, if I'm Tyson, this sounds more like, I'll read you from the club what they said. It sounds more like an appearance. And for $125,000, I'll show up in fucking assless chaps and a banana hammock. Nobody's going to know who I am, but maybe I just sit in the corner and eat a hot dog and boom, somebody's going to be watching. This is what they said. We've been in the business of entertaining and pushing boundaries for years, and we think Mike Tyson's playful side is exactly what our cowboy Christmas party needs. That's according to Larry Finn's Hustlers general manager, Brittany Rose. She told this to TMZ. She also added, we know he's not afraid to have some fun, and we're offering him the opportunity to do so with a hefty sum. Plus, we think it'll be a night to remember for everyone in attendance. I mean, why not? Why not? Here's the thing with Tyson. I think he should take that versus the porn one. Do this. Now, there's rumblings that Tyson might try to come back and box some more. He needs to stop that. Stop it. You're getting too old for this. But if you want to be gimmicky for a little bit, capitalize on it. Be the guy that shows up to parties and gets paid a butt ton of money to wear assless chaps and a banana hammock. Listen, you guys are having Christmas parties coming up. Boom. Set me up. I'll show up to your Christmas party. I'll show up to your Christmas party wearing a, what is used to be called a wife beater t-shirt, assless, just chaps with nothing underneath it other than a banana hammock. I will do that for your Christmas party. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the center stage to Huff Uncensored, Colorado's #1 comedy podcast, Scott to Huff. Notice the assless chaps. That is, I screwed that up. Notice the banana hammock. That is hardly any bananas in it. Is that a peanut hammock? Is that what that is? Is that what I can't see no banana in there. Oh my gosh. I saw on the flyer outside that Scott the Huff was going to be here wearing a banana hammock and some chaps. That's it. Okay? I show up here, he's wearing a peanut hammock. That's bullshit. I want my money back. I'll do that for $1,000. Okay? I'm just putting that out there. And the majority of the people at your Christmas party, your holiday party, whatever you want to call it, are going to go, who the fuck is that? I think that would be great. As long as I get my money, I don't care. Would you do that? Would you do that? What's your price? What's your price to show up to a Christmas party wearing a banana hammock and some chaps? I keep saying assless chaps, but all chaps are assless. So that's just some bad terms that people started a long time ago. Chaps and a banana hammock. What's your fee to show up to a party that's not your company? Don't want you to get fired from your own company. I thought it was a costume party. I think I would do it for, all joking aside, 10 grand. I think I would do that. Just putting it out there. See what your budget is. Let me know. And if you're needing help figuring out those numbers, listen, I get it. Running a small business is hard, especially running the back of the house. You need someone with experience and is trustworthy. You need Kirkwall Group. With over 30 years of experience, Richard and the Kirkwall Group understands that you and your business deserve someone who's efficient, timely, accurate, cost-effective, focused on your success, and is working to save you money. Kirkwall Group can help you with your bookkeeping, accounting management services, CFO, controller, accounting manager, projects, and support, as well as tax planning and preparation like income, property tax, and sales and use tax. Honestly, what you need to do, go to kirkwallgroup.net right now and see everything they can do for you and your business. And what can happen is you can call or email and set up a free 30-minute consultation. If you just want to call them, call Richard at 833-547-5925. That's 833-KIRKWALL. Kirkwall Group. We count what counts for you. Richard's going to be like, I love the lead-in. I love the lead-in to my spot. I was talking to Richard the other day. He's such a good dude. Such a good dude. When you talk to him, just he's a good dude. I just, there's some people you're like, nah. He's a kind of guy. Like, yeah, that's good. Before we get into some sports in the mailbag, astronauts of the ISS, International Space Station, reported an unusual smell when when the Russian Progress MS-29 cargo spacecraft docked with the ISS. Like, there was this unusual smell. They're like, what the fuck is this? They obviously reported it to All That Matter. We actually have the sound of the moment that they opened the cargo hatch, and it's kind of scary when you hear it.
Sorry, I farted.
That's funny. It's funny. Have you ever, I did this at the radio station, and I'll never forget it. I'm working on the weekend. Like, nobody was in the building on the weekends. And I'm running some miscellaneous game. It's probably a football game. My job is to run it and then cut up some highlights as they happen. Real easy gig, right? And I'm by myself. I'm in the control room. Door wasn't open. It was just me sitting in there, and I farted, right? I swear on everything, like maybe 10 seconds later, maybe 20, this sales lady comes in. She's like, oh, hey, how's it going? And you could just see that as she walked in, that her smile went from, hey, how's it going, to, oh, shit, I just walked into a wall of stank. I was so fucking embarrassed. I don't think she ever talked to me after that again. It was pretty gross. It's pretty gross. At the time, there's like this great Mexican place down there by the radio station called Viva Burrito. Used to eat there all the time. Oh, that was embarrassing. If it would have been a dude, they'd be like, oh man, you baking some cookies in there? But it was a lady, and she's like, oh my God, I used to think he was attractive, but not anymore. No, I'm going to tell everybody about it. That was gross. Does that ever happen to you? Oh, so fucking embarrassing. So embarrassing. You know what we need to do right now? Let's jump into some sports.
Going deep, tight ends and long balls.
He starts to come, and then he pulls out.
Oh, gross!
It's sports with the Huff.
Well, you knew this was going to happen. The Colorado Buffaloes, led by Deion Sanders, the football team, was in Kansas taking on the Jayhawks, and man, they got their asses handed to them. And who is it? Devin Neal. I think that's his first name, is Devin or Delvin. Freaking beast. Expect him, once he makes it into the NFL, to make an impact. Hopefully, because he just slaughtered the Buffs. The Buffs had no answer for it. Well, Deion, after the game, had some very blunt words.
We started smelling ourselves a little bit. That's what I just told our team. We got intoxicated with the success. We got intoxicated with the multitude of articles and the assumption that we're this and the assumption that we're that. and we did not play CU football. Therefore, we got our butts kicked. It is what it is.
And that kind of goes back to, remember several weeks back when Deion said that he liked the idea of the team playing as underdogs. Like, he would prefer them not to be ranked, because shit like this can happen. It can. And that happens in just about every industry. In any time that you find success, people take their foot off the gas. And obviously, Deion's going to take the brunt of the blame because he's the head coach. But also, I mean, it's the classic, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink type of thing. He can do the greatest job coaching, but if they're sitting out there going, dude, we're going to totally smash them. We're going to do it, guys. It's going to be easy peasy. Can't wait for the next game. Well, if you're not focused on what's the task at hand, you're going to get throttled, and that's what happened. It was mostly the defense, but that being said, the offense could have put up some more points. But, I mean, they still hung, 21 points. Ultimately, that's going to go on the defense. The defense just got ran over by Neal. Neal was just a beast. He's like a fucking bowling ball. He's kind of like Juggernaut, only small, right? Once he gets going, good luck stopping him. So, I mean, that's on them. Sometimes a loss is good. We've talked about that plenty of times. Got to know how to lose in order to know how to succeed. And the reason being is success is built upon your failures. Make that a t-shirt. Boom, you're welcome. Because you learn, and you guys know this, just in life. You get your butt kicked, you know how not to get your butt kicked for the next time. Things to avoid. Got to take this shit serious. Otherwise, I'm going to get kicked in the teeth again. Don't like that feeling. Don't. I want the feeling of victory. And that's why it's good to live in fear. There was a study that came out that said people or employees that have imposter syndrome, they feel like that they're at a place that they don't belong, that they're somewhat quote unquote frauds in their business, in their industry, tend to be better employees, more productive employees, because they're fearful. They're fearful of losing their gig. That's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen to the CU Buffs defense. They need to be fearful as shit that they're going to lose their job, that they're going to get benched for somebody else. That's a good thing. Reality check. You guys aren't God's gift to football players. Go out there, learn from it. I expect you to dominate your next game. You can't win a championship if you think your shit don't stink. You got to be scared that your shit stinks. And go out there and kick some people in the nuts. Be scared that you're not putting out enough effort. So you need to go higher in the levels. That's what needs to happen. Whether you're in sports, whether you're in business, whatever your job is, that's the way you need to attack every single moment of your job, is that you're fearful to lose your job, and then you will be excelling. You will be above the rest. People that think that they're just God's gift to the industry that they're in eventually are going to be found out to be frauds. You might find success, appreciate your success, cherish it. Now be afraid to lose that success, and you'll be good. The Denver Broncos beat the shit out of the Raiders. I say that. It was kind of close. It was close, and the Raiders were trying to make a comeback, and you hate to see injuries. Gardner Minshew broke his collarbone, and he's going to be out for the rest of the year. Who knows who the Raiders get to fill those, their backup. Maybe Daniel Jones goes over to the Raiders. I don't know. Who knows what ends up happening with that? I believe their other quarterback is coming back from injury, and he should be back this next week. I don't recall. But either way, I'm not a Raiders fan. Don't really give a shit. Don't really care. But the Broncos go into Vegas and beat the Raiders. That was good. And there's a viral clip that I posted on my social channels at DeHuff Podcast. You got to watch this. It's fucking awesome. If you're not a Bronco fan, you still need to watch it and go, I want to see that out of my quarterback. It's Bo Nix looking fucking psychotic as he stares into the eyes of a Raiders defender. Oh, is it Tyree Wilson? I think that's who it is. And I believe he's saying, because you can kind of read his lips, looks like he's saying, I don't fear anything. Because they're like taunting him. They're getting in his face, and he gets this psycho wide-eye look on him. And he's just like, I don't fear anything. I'm going to eat your heart. That's what it looks like. It's like, holy shit, Bo Nix is him. He is him. Holy cow. He just, like, I'm looking at the video right now. It's just like, dude, that is insane. I added a little clip from Kung Fu Panda where he says, I think I just peed myself. Because Bo Nix, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see from a quarterback. Intensity. And then after the game, Bo Nix is being interviewed by the Fox Sports reporter, and she's asking him something. He starts to respond, and then Garrett Bowles, offensive lineman for the Denver Broncos, comes over, interrupts it, and he's just like, picks him up and like is hugging him, patting him on the shoulders, and he's the best rookie in the class. And that goes with the idea that Bo Nix should be the rookie of the year. He is playing insane. He struggled at the beginning, but it's the classic, you don't overreact. The Denver Broncos could have overreacted when the fan base, we all tend to overreact and get impatient. Sean Payton was calm and patient with Bo Nix. Didn't get trigger happy. Let him figure it out because he believed in Bo Nix and he saw the potential in Bo Nix. And look what we're getting out of it. An efficient quarterback. If he continues this through the rest of the season, it'll be a shame if he doesn't win Rookie of the Year because he's just surpassing everybody. When you look at it, he's calm and cool. That's the guy I want taking snaps for my favorite football team, is a guy like that. And not afraid to sit there and defend himself and his team by saying, I'm not afraid of anything. And sure as shit, he's playing like he ain't afraid of jack squat. So that's really, or he said, I don't fear anything. That needs to be a t-shirt. Listen, media outlets out there, somebody make a t-shirt. I don't fear anything. Make it an orange t-shirt. And then you put his number on there or something like that. That's fucking cool. Sell those for $10. People buy a butt ton of them. There you go. I just made you some money. That would be cool. Obviously, you don't make it generic. There was times when I worked at the Fan that they would have these really I was going to say really cool, but most of the time they were decent t-shirt ideas, but then the font or the t-shirt quality, the material was just shit. Make it good material and make it a good design. And if it says, I don't fear anything, fear me or something like that, and it's orange and, has hints of blue or whatever, and it has like number 10 or has something like that where you're like, oh shit, that's like Bo Nix. Bo Nix, he ain't scared of shit. People are going to buy it, right? Would you not? Somebody out there, make it nice. Make it nice. I'll sign off on it. Send me the proofs, okay? DeHuffPodcast@gmail.com. Also, I got to mention this in regards to sports because this dude is a badass, and he might get the MVP for the season for the whole NFL. Eagles running backs Saquon Barkley, just a beast. He had 255 yards rushing yesterday against the Rams. He averaged 9.8 yards per carry. He had 2 touchdowns, plus he had 47 yards receiving. He had total of 302 yards for the game. Dude, that guy is scary. Scary. So watch out for that motherfucker because he's going to wreck you. Oh, my God. Let's see. You know what? We got the mailbag coming up. But first, hey, listen up, Denver. Remember this name, Game Time PDR. I know some of you got hit by those crazy hailstorms back in May. Maybe you got dents from something else. Either way, if you're one of those people that are waiting to the end of hail season or you're just procrastinating on getting these things fixed, you need to check out a very reliable, a trustworthy repair shop to fix your vehicle. That is Game Time PDR. And what's cool is Game Time PDR is right here in Denver. Obviously, that's why I'm talking to you about it. Okay? They specialize in paintless dent repair, which saves the integrity of your vehicle and restores the value back in your vehicle. To celebrate the end of hail season and those procrastinators out there, they're offering a $200 gift card just to get your vehicle fixed. Game Time PDR has an expert claim specialist on staff to take the hassle out of dealing with insurance claims and makes it a seamless process. Game Time PDR is going to pay your deductible up to $1,000, but they need to see the vehicle in order to qualify. They're able to pay your deductible, by the way, because they work and advocate for the customers first before the insurance company. Game Time PDR's expertise and experience are unmatched. They have over 30 years of experience in the industry, and they have some of the best technicians on the fucking planet. Call Anthony right now, 303-955-8200. Again, 303-955-8200, and you can schedule an evaluation. It's Game Time PDR, the MVP in dent repair. Okay, you know what we need to do? Let's jump into the mailbag.
Mailbag. You've got mail.
This comes in from J.R. Slick. He said, DeHuff, okay, who's the biggest dick you ever worked with at the fan? You know, I never checked to see who had the biggest. Oh, wait, sorry, I misread that. Okay, who's the biggest dick? Who's the biggest jerk you ever worked with at the fan? I made a quick list, and I could kind of go through everybody has their moments, and that's just a normal job. But when you start talking about an industry that is based off of personality, it's a little bit heightened. And obviously people are going to go D-Mac. D-Mac had his moments just like anybody else did. And I would contribute that to him being a perfectionist. He has it in his mind. Listen, this guy's a former program director. He knows how things are supposed to be done. And he's done a lot of the jobs at the radio station. So it bugs the snot out of him when something doesn't get done because he knows it can be done. So I don't really, he and I've told you this before, we don't really work that well together. We're great in small doses. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think he's the biggest jerk I ever worked with. Scott Hastings, he would get worn out on the road from working with the Nuggets. And listen, he'll be honest with you with this. If he was right here, I'd say it too. He had his moments where he would just be bitchy. And it would just be out of the blue. People could be doing their thing and things don't go exactly the way he wanted. And he'd be, a bitch about it. Dare I say, cunty about it. C-word alert. C-word alert. I'm going to send a text to Hastings after the show. Be like, FYI, talked about you on the show, called you a cunt. Anyway, hope you're having a good day. Happy Thanksgiving. You'll be like, what? What did you just say? I will hurt you. I will hurt you. So, but that being said, I loved working with Scotty. He had his moments, but it wasn't because he was a jerk. It was just he was exhausted. He had a lot going on. So I never held that over his head. Mike Evans, he would only get bitchy and upset when he would listen to the texters too much. And he knows that that's a problem that he has. Like sometimes people would just start bagging on them on the text line for no particular reason, or they'd be saying shit. Be like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but Altitude's talking about that's why they're so much better than you, and blah, blah, blah. Essentially just taunting. And he can't help but read it because it's on his timeline in the studio. And that would piss him off. Well, they're doing this, Scotty, you got to be doing this. You got to get on your game. They're talking to some miscellaneous beat writer from Las Vegas. We need a Vegas guy. No, we don't. No, we don't. So that's really it. Otherwise, I loved working with Mike, but it was just one of those things. Every now and then that would happen. It wasn't an ongoing issue as far as like, be like, oh shit, got to go work with Mike today. None of these guys, it was really that big of a deal. So yeah, I think back to like Mike, and it's just like he would just get consumed by the text, but it got to the point where he really noticed it and just kind of just like, look, let it run off your back, let it run off your back. We know we're good. Schlereth, motherfucker broke my ribs. I don't know what else I can say. He's scary. I used to hide in the corner, rock myself back and forth, sucking my thumb. Be like, oh my God, Mark's coming in studio today. This is frightening for me. So maybe him. I don't know. Mark's actually one of the, him and Mike are just some of the nicest guys, and we would get along really well. So I jokingly say that with Stink, but I don't think he was really a dick ever. Klatt every now and then would have moments where you could tell like, oh shit, that's he's had a lot of concussions, and he would just fly off the handle for a second, but that wasn't very often. He's a good guy too. I'm really trying to rack my brain on who was the biggest asshole to work with, and I really can't say that there was somebody that I was just like, oh geez, like he's just a dick. I guess in a way D-Mac, but not really. Here's ultimately what I'll say. There was a point in time where I was running the morning show. I had interns constantly coming through and just questionable management at times and whatever. And the biggest jerk at the station might have been me, because I was exhausted with it. I was exhausted with constantly training interns to do a job, and then they move on. And it's like, fuck, I got to start. And it's not like you're training somebody that's been in the industry before. You're training them from the very fucking beginning. They have no fucking clue what radio is. And that's exhausting. If you work on a construction site and all of a sudden you have somebody that has never lifted a hammer, never done anything like that, it's kind of the same thing. You're like, what the fuck am I getting into? And it gets exhausting. And I would just be an asshole to people. I fucking hated working with interns, and we would joke about it on the air, and I would yell at the interns. Some of the interns got it. Some of them, like, I was really fucking mad at the interns. Like, there'd be times where they'd just start talking. I'm on the air interacting with Scott Hastings and Alfred Williams, and all of a sudden the intern's just like, either answering phones or, talking to somebody else or calling somebody on their cell phone and be like, what are you doing? Just yell at them. And so I may be the biggest jerk that I ever worked with at the radio station, because while I gave you a list of guys that had their moments, and I believe that they're justifiable, it may have been me because I just would be so frustrated and so exhausted with everything that's going on. So I guess I know that's kind of disappointing for you, JR. You wanted me to spill the beans and be like, this guy in particular. I've heard a lot of stories about other people in like, say, the music stations that are assholes. I'm not going to say their names because that's just hearsay. I'm telling you what I've experienced. I'm trying to think, like, Cecil Lammy's a good dude. Zach By, really good dude. Zach By's interesting. He he is very dedicated to his job. He's really fucking good. Sandy was always good. Yes, he would get pissed off at other people, but I think he and I got along well. I'm trying to think, like, everybody else was good. Orlando was kind of a diva at times, but ultimately, I mean, I think you have to be a diva in order to be on the air, because you got to have some confidence in you. Otherwise, what are you doing? So, yeah, Orlando, I just called you a diva. You little bitch. You bitch. He doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. And even if he did, he knows I'm not being a dick about it. You have to be a diva and be confident in yourself to the point where your cup is overflowing with confidence in order to be an on-air talent. Because otherwise, you're going to be out there and you can't be unsure of yourself. You're either confident in what you do or get the fuck off the microphone. That's the way it is. And I believe Orlando is on doing stuff for ESPN. So, yeah, doesn't matter what the fuck I say. He's doing great. He's doing his own thing. Probably the best thing that happened to him was to get fired from the radio station. There's a lot of times where guys think it's the end of the world, but then that door closes, and guess what? 30 more open. So I think he's doing well. A bit of a bitch. Now I kind of want to tell him that I'm going to tell Hastings that I called him a cunt, and I'm going to text Orlando and say, I called you a bitch today. Obviously, it's tongue in cheek. I don't need him coming after me. He's a lot bigger than me. He is. One time he was jokingly putting his hands on me, like kind of throwing me around a little bit. And I'm like, fuck, man, you forget. Like, he's lost a lot of weight, but you forget how strong those motherfuckers are, especially the offensive linemen. You're like, holy shit. Like, Columbus did that to me once. And like, he's skinny as toothpicks. And it's the same as Orlando. And I'm like, oh my God, he's still strong. He's strong to the bone. It's crazy. But anyway, there you go, JR. If you guys want to be like JR and enjoying the show, go ahead. You can hit me up on socials at DeHuff Podcast, or you can send me an email, dehuffpodcast@gmail.com. You guys are amazing. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. Thanks to Kirkwall Group. Go to kirkwallgroup.net, as well as Game Time PDR, and of course, Bet Online. It's DeHuff Uncensored. You guys are amazing. Have a fantastic day. Let's continue to move forward. I'll talk to you next time.